Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. This performance playbook's all about the driveline, and on an 8-fuel dragster, that's an important piece of the puzzle. When Josh Hart gets on it on that starting line, this tire is going to come up and it's going to ride on a little contact patch. Now, Josh Hart, man, take us through that driver's seat, that experience when you take off. What are you feeling, these tires, and actually what goes on?
It's an unbelievable G-force. It just sets you back in the seat the entire path.
And what happens? I mean, do you feel the tires? Do you feel any vibrations?
In the first 60 feet, you have to be able to really feel it in the seat of your pants and tell the difference between drive shaft chatter and tire shake.
So you can tell it's a good run when you know you have one?
Typically, yes. In the first 60 feet, you can actually feel the car get up on the tire properly.
And when it gets up on the tire, you're riding on a little contact patch, aren't you?
Yes, sir. This is what it basically looks like when you're at full acceleration. It's about 11 inches that actually ends up touching the pavement.
Well, we looked at some drive axles today, but you know, Drew's back in the shop here. He's putting some half shafts on a Corvette on the rear axle.
This is our 78 Corvette. Came in with a few leaks, a few squeaks, pretty much came through and assessed it, pulled everything out, cleaned all the surfaces, replaced the universals and U-joints in it, cleaned up the half shafts, replaced the internal seals, anything we had to do to keep the fluids in. Upon disassembly, we found out that the seal was bad. We fixed the seal, replaced anything that we had, like the universals. Well, you can hear the whine out of the universals, you can hear the clunking out of it. You can go through and it was low on fluid, so you can hear the rear end whine a little bit more. We upgraded it with some synthetic fluid. Pulling these out is a very big job. You got to pull the rear arms, pull the whole thing out as an assembly, put it on the bench, break it all down, knock the universals all out, take the seals out. All this inside of here all has its own seals and washers, and it's all been refurbished too. Put the assembly back in. The biggest thing is shimming and aligning your rear arms. Those are a big problem and very time consuming getting those right. You pretty much just snug down your straps to torque specs and just go through and make sure everything's clearanced and free and you got no binding. Once you're all done, you get I guess a tighter feel in the suspension. You don't have no more noises, no more of the slop. Well, you got the side drain right here. You pretty much just put that in there. We can suck them out. We pulled this one, pulled it on the French, just split it, just let it all come out. Refilling it, just pull the plug out, fill it up to here so it starts coming out, put your plug back in it, clean it up and ready to go.
That's an inside look at high performance in action at Bernie's. Now let's head back to Tech Garage.
Bo from Chicago emailed this week with a 2014 Charger SRT8. Really nice car. There's a lot of popping sounds coming from underneath the vehicle, especially on bumpy roads, of which there are plenty in Chicago. Car only has 62,000 miles on it, so he's replaced the struts, but it didn't make a difference. It's still popping.
Well, key word there, SRT8, aggressive driving, Chicago, pothole capital of the world.
Yes.
Don't go together. Bo, hey, it's just a suspension-related component. I mean, we ran a lot of those tests. Check your struts, your shocks. They'll rattle internally for leakage. Your spring, your insulator's there. And we showed you today about the ball joints. Very common popping noise right there. Man, there's bushings. There's a lot of suspension components to check.
There really are. And these bushings absolutely take a beating, and they do wear out. There's a lot of really good aftermarket options. Energy suspension components, for example, really good stuff. Holds up in the most severe duty conditions like you're driving in. So you got some options there. Pretty easy checks you can do.
Yeah, we did this checks today on the show with the ball joint. Just follow your load and following ball joint. When you do it, make sure you know which one it is, or a dry park test. Turn to the right or to the left. Get a friend under there. Be safe. You'll see some buckling, man. Suspension's made to wear out. It's going to wear out.
It really is, but it can be heavy lifting and be a big job. You saw us suffer through that today. We had the right tools, though, and that makes a difference. If you don't want to tackle something that big, go to one of the professional shops. They've got the right tools, and they can take care of you and get you back on the road.
Well, check out more of Tech Garage on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Like always, thanks for watching. We're sure grateful, and we'll get you back on the road.